on my soul, and the rain is coming down. My heart's a little fragile, and my faith is searching for some higher ground. This world goes fast, chasing things that don't last, and I'm running out of breath. More behind in my own life, and I'm not even out of bed. I wake up and throw the shades wide open. I get up and then I put my hope in the one love that always sees me through. There's no one like you. Sometimes this life is like a big surprise that I really don't understand, but I know I can trust the one who holds this thing in his hand. I wake up and throw the shades wide open. I get up, then I put my hope in the one love that always sees me through. There's no one like you, the one I put my heart, my faith, my life in. You have my soul, I'm yours forever. Wake up, it's time to throw the shades.
Welcome to another Woamtec Live. On today's show, we'll have recording artist Karen Williams, social media guru Gina Carr, and racing diva and Grand Prix superstar. That would be Shay Holbrook. And now, Woamtec President Kathleen Hawkins.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Woamtec Live. This is going to be an amazing show with several amazing women, and I am just blessed to be in the honor of their presence. So I'm so glad that you tuned in today. I know that we have people watching us from all over the United States. I want to give a shout out to our trooper in Santa Clarita, California, who is launching their new Woamtec chapter tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I want to thank and congratulate the amazing Sabrina Searcy for debuting in Daytona Beach to a stellar debut this past Tuesday. She has, I think, 11 new members, and it is just such a blessing to see women all across the country, whether they're in Chicago or Maryland or Milwaukee or Texas or Orlando, North Carolina, and of course all my Woamtec divas in Georgia. It doesn't matter where you're at. It is just a blessing to me to be a part of this amazing journey that I believe God is leading us down as we continue to empower lives, build businesses, and strengthen communities. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to yours for allowing me to be in your presence today and to share with you. As I said, we have an amazing show, and you know, as we begin the show, we're going to talk about dynamic women that have been faced with challenges, diversity, obstacles, and decisions to make in order to reach their goals. Many of you have heard about some of the decisions that I've caught myself being faced with over the last 3 or 4 years in deciding, you know, where is God leading me, and where am I supposed to go, and what are we supposed to do, and how can I be a disciple of Him and do the things that we're meant to do and become the people that we're meant to become. Well, I've asked the women to be here today that are here to be here because I believe that they have caught the vision, and that they're listening with divine clarity, that they're opening up their heart, that they're opening up their eyes and their ears, and they're following with passion, but most of all, they're doing it with faith. And I want to first start by introducing the amazing woman that you just heard from, Karen Williams, all the way from Nashville. I almost said Nashville, Florida, but you're not from Nashville, Florida. That just doesn't sound right.
I know.
All the way from Nashville. I am so excited that you're here today.
Me too.
Please welcome the incredible Karen Williams. So thank you, Karen,
Thank
for being
you.
here
I'm
today.
glad this worked out for me to be here.
Yay. Well, tell me about that music we were listening to. It just was so fun and cheerful and exciting.
Hopefully it got you up out of your seats and, you know, woken up today. It's my brand new pre-release to my record that's coming out. The record is called Wake Up. And brand new. Where do I show it? And this is something that I've been working on for about a year now, and the Lord has just opened the doors for this music to be created. Really, it's been a God thing, which is fun. You said stepping out in faith, which is exactly what I did 4 years ago. Moved to Nashville.
That's what I want to hear about, because I know we met by the amazing
Divine
Betty
appointment.
Lord Hillman,
Yes,
who
yes,
is now,
yes.
I don't know if you know this, but she is the downtown Orlando chapter director.
Yay!
So she's now a director with
Cool.
Woamtec. So Betty, if you're watching, thank you for this
Hi, Betty. I love you.
appointment and introducing
Yes,
the two of us together.
yes.
And you're going to hear that story in just a second. But when we met, you had shared with me this incredible story about a girl with a dream.
Yeah.
And, you know, you really did pack your
Up and
car up
move.
and follow your
I
dream.
did.
So talk to me about that.
Yep, it was everything that you kind of hear about, with somebody just putting it all out there, taking the biggest risk of my life. I grew up here in Orlando. My entire family is here. And about 4 years ago, I felt the Lord just tugging on my heart to go to Nashville. And I felt Him saying, I can use you better through music in Nashville. Well, of course, that's terrifying, and I didn't know anybody, and my entire family is here, so I was scared to death. And as my dad always says, great, you know, if you're the more scared you are, the better.
Absolutely.
And if you're not terrified with what you're trying to accomplish every day, then you're not dreaming big enough. And so I rented out my condo here, packed up my car, everything I owned, and went to Nashville and just threw myself in, began developing relationships and doing everything I could, but yet trusting the Lord for the doors to open. You know, as they say, working like it all depends on me and praying like it all depends on Him. And He began opening the doors to, now 4 years later, a brand new record that's coming out, and just all kinds of exciting things that are going to be coming up. You know, a video that's coming out tied in with my adoption story, and all kinds of things. We could probably sit here for an hour and a half and talk about it all.
I know.
So I don't want to take up too much time.
It's so much fun. There is so many things to talk about.
Yes.
I encourage you to go to Karen's website, because she has an amazing website, and I know you're doing another one under construction, so
Yes.
I can't imagine how you can make it better. But you do have so many different pieces of the puzzle, from your book to the adoption segment and the story and the way that you promote it, and you're an advocate, child advocate for adoption, and there are so many different pieces to your puzzle besides being a superstar as far as a music sensation is concerned. I know you know that I have said, Karen is so funny, we were together once and she would say, you know that song, and I was like, no, I don't know that song. And she goes, yeah, let me sing a little bit of it for you, because I am like clueless when it comes to music. And it is amazing how many songs that you've helped write and you've been blessed with being a part of, which is super cool. But I want to go back a little bit. I want to go back to the day that you got in your car and you decided to make that journey, because some people may know that your dad is kind of well known, Pat Williams with the Orlando Magic, as they're going back to season, and I want to hear how your dad's doing in just a little bit. But when you got in your car, did you get in your car and did your daddy say, here's my gold American Express and I'll take care of everything? Okay, I just feel like, you know, getting in the car and taking that journey can be a lot less scary if you're handed all of the stability. Right.
Well, one of the great things that my dad has never done has made it. He's always encouraged us. He's always been right there if we do fall and we need a little boost. He's absolutely my biggest encourager, my biggest cheerleader. But he has never been one just to hand us money, just to make it easy. You know, he has encouraged us, hey, you got to get up and you got to work your butt off every day. There are no free lunches. That's his favorite saying. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. And if he had handed me his gold American Express card or whatever, I don't know that I would have had the same motivation. There's something empowering about going out there and doing it on your own and not having, you know, knowing that you have the safety net of a family to come home to should things just fall apart. I mean, it's, of course, as my family, they're always there for me, but it wasn't the safety net of, oh, you can just come back and live at home and we'll supply, you know, we'll finance your whole thing. No, not at all. I've had to work for every single thing that I've gotten, and that's, as an adult now, I appreciate that more, that he didn't make it easy on us.
Absolutely.
So, and he's done that for all of my brothers and sisters. I have 14 adopted brothers and sisters.
Did you hear that? 14 adopted brothers and sisters.
19 total.
Wow.
And so that has led to so many really neat opportunities for me as a Christian artist to work with organizations that are tied in with adoption. Show Hope Foundation, which is Stephen Curtis Chapman's organization, the Congressional Coalition for Adoption out of Washington, D.C., and we're shooting a video right now that's tied in with my song, Just May Be, that talks about, you know, you just may be the answer to a prayer, the one person that meets a need. And, of course, that's what adoption is all about, as you know. So, yeah, through my family story and through the doors that God has opened through that, through the risks that my dad took as a parent. You know, he could have said no to all the opportunities that came to adopt these children. He could have said no. He could have been selfish. But as a result of his ability to say, yeah, let's change this child's life. as a result, he changed his life, my life, you know, and really future generations. And
Absolutely.
so that has encouraged me and empowered me to say, hey, this is my family story, so now how can I give back to the adoption community?
Now, I would not be, I think, morally correct if I didn't take a moment and say, tell me how your dad's doing.
He's doing very well, thank you for asking. He was diagnosed, for everybody that doesn't know, he was diagnosed in February with multiple myeloma, which is a very rare form of blood cancer and affects the blood and bone marrow, and has been in treatment ever since basically the minute he was diagnosed, and he's doing great. They're making progress, they're making very good progress that the doctors feel good about, and but above all, his attitude is phenomenal, just phenomenal, which is again a great example for us as his kids to see that his faith is as stronger than ever, really. He said, before I was diagnosed, I felt like I was close to the Lord, but now I feel like I'm sitting in his lap and hugging him around his neck. And so it's been a very powerful example for us as his kids to see that his faith has not altered. He's not sitting around asking God, why? You know, why did this happen to me? I think that's really easy to question God. Instead, he said, I've gone from why. You know, the first couple of weeks, of course, you're shocked, and he wouldn't be human if he didn't at some point say, Lord, why did this happen? But then he said to me one day, I've stopped asking why, and I've started asking what. What can I learn? What can I do? What can I do to help somebody else through this situation? And that really blew me away, because it's easy in tough situations like that to just sit around and mope and say, why? This isn't fair. And you know what? It's not. But at the end of the day, it's all about what you're doing for the Lord. And if this is another opportunity for him to be a witness to somebody, whether it's the nurses he is coming in contact with now that he never would have met, you know, whatever it is, we don't know, and we may never know.
Right.
And that's okay, because the Lord has a reason for this.
Well, and if I have read anything about your dad, I would bet he would be writing a book about this soon.
Oh, my goodness,
And
yes.
if he doesn't, he's going to tell you to write a book
Exactly.
about it.
One of us is going to write a book
about the experience. And I think that what he's taught you, I can see his spirit just from what I've read about him, what I see about him on Facebook and things like that. I can see how he's ingrained that spirit of be a fighter, don't give up, keep a positive attitude, keep moving forward, fight for your dreams, fight for what you want, know that God doesn't make junk, and don't ever settle for less. Like, I can see all those things in you. So I want to know, because there was the day that we met, I was on my knees praying about something very important.
Yes.
And that was the day that you were the answer to that prayer, in my opinion. So I want to know about your life in this journey, because you're like on this tipping point of spectacular things happening, which is so cool. And I know something you don't know. No, I'm just kidding. You're on this tipping point of these amazing things to happen. So with that being said, what time in your life in this journey did you get to a point where you were like, I don't know if I can do this, or help me through this, or what did you feel, and how did you deal with that feeling to give somebody that may be watching us right now, to give them the motivation that they need to say, you know what, I'm destined to be more, to do more, to be better. I can accomplish something when they don't feel that empowerment right now. When did you feel that, if you felt that? If you haven't yet, you will.
Oh,
so.
let
me be there for you.
My answer to that is, how about every day? You know, I mean, there's a point, like I said, if I am not nervous at some point, I mean excited nervous, not bad nervous, then I don't feel alive. I feel most excited when I'm pushing myself. And sometimes it takes somebody else to push you out of your comfort zone. But one of the things that my pastor in Nashville has said, which has really changed my perspective, is you know, it's so easy to feel overwhelmed. It's so easy to feel like, I can't do this. And that's an easy word to go to. I can't. And one of the things that my pastor has really ingrained in us is get up, suit up, show up. Do the next right thing, and then trust God with the results.
I think you
and
need to
that's
say
all
that
you
again.
have to do.
Look in the camera and tell me again, what are the 3 things that every woman that is watching this show
Here's
needs
your
to...
motto. If you feel like you can't go on today, and we've all felt that way, all you have to do is get up, suit up, show up, do the next right thing. That's all you have to do, is the next right thing, and then trust God with the results. So instead of focusing on next week and going, I can't, oh my gosh, what am I going to, you know, tomorrow has enough trouble of its own, the Scripture says. And so we don't have to worry about tomorrow. We don't have to worry about next week. I don't even have to worry about tonight. What I have to worry about is right now, sitting here, doing the best that I can to empower and encourage and share my story and my music with whoever it is that's watching, because I believe that the Lord has ordained this whole situation, and whoever's watching is exactly who's supposed to be watching.
Absolutely.
And so when I feel overwhelmed, that's what I go back to, the basics of, how am I going to get through this tomorrow? Well, the first thing I have to do is get up, get out of my bed, wake up, the next thing I have to do is get dressed, and then the next thing I have to do after that is show up to whatever it is I've already committed to. And so a lot of times in life, it's not the most talented people that make it. You know, it's not the most gifted people. It's the people that show up the most. So that's sometimes all we have to do. And it takes a lot of the, you know, it can be a lot less overwhelming if you think about it like that.
Well, and when you show up, you have to be blessed with a talent, too, because you definitely have a talent. I know you've heard me say, and some of you have heard me say before, that my mom used to tell me in church, honey, don't sing so loud, just move your lips. God knows you love him. And I would
sing
literally
on the inside.
I'd sing on the inside. I still do it. I'm singing at the top of my lungs, and I'm not moving my mouth. So I hear what you're saying. I think you've got a beautiful voice. Talk to me about Wake Up, your new CD.
Yes.
Why is it called Wake Up? Did something inside you wake up? I know you like to sleep in late.
I do like to sleep in, and it's very ironic that this is called Wake Up because I'm the world's worst morning person. And the other funny story is that one of my co-writers fell asleep while we were writing the song Wake Up. So, but you know what? It was time for me to just like go back to 4 years ago and just say, it's time to wake up. It's time to get out there. It's time to, I was living a very comfortable life here in Orlando working, and it's not that I wasn't happy, it's just that I wasn't challenged. I wasn't living the life that I felt like I was called to live. I wasn't living out my passion. And that can be very, very frustrating. And I think a lot of times we do sort of allow ourselves to fall into living a life of quiet frustration. And nobody really knows it because you slap on a smile and we do our thing like we do as women every day. But I wasn't just feeling inspired every day. And I was very comfortable. And so my wake up moment was heading off to Nashville, taking the biggest risk of my life. So this song is very personal for me. Just,
that's cool.
You know, and it's a great way to start out the record. It's high impact, it's up tempo, and my husband jokingly says he's going to blare it every morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning to get me to wake up, which is not easy to do, he'll tell you.
Yeah, karma.
Seriously, it's payback.
Well, I know that the CD has not yet been released, but
Correct.
you have agreed to do something special for us. So for anybody that's watching one of our Woamtec broadcasts, you're going to be able to be one of the first to get this hot off the press. You just have to contact Karen directly, and the single version CD with 5 songs.
Yes.
The first version is a pre-release is going to be available for
on my
only
website. $7.
$7. So for only $7 for Woamtec members, you're going to be the first to hear it before all the great stuff happens, which is very, very, very exciting.
And we have one to give away.
Oh, you do? That's right. But before you do that, I want to tell a little bit of story. I want to tell a little story. Karen and I, when we first met, she called. And for those of you that know me know that I don't take many phone calls. Like when you call, you usually have to schedule an appointment to get through me. And we have a team of gatekeepers, for lack of a better word, that are there to screen out all the phone calls that are coming through and to kind of just make sure that I'm talking to the people that I need to talk to. And somehow I got this phone call, and I answered the phone when you called, which was divine. I was going to say bizarre, but that's probably not the right word. And we were talking, and she said, well, I have this song, and I thought you might want to play it at one of your conferences. And I'm like, I don't need to play a song about empowering women at a conference. Like, I just don't need to do that. And then she talked about adoption, and she said, yeah, well, my dad's kind of like the sports figure with the magic, and we've adopted all these children. And those of you that know my passion and my call to action in child advocacy is adoption, child welfare system. And she said, and I've got another song that I wrote that is kind of geared towards adoption. And I said, you know what, that I'm interested in, not the other one. And she said, well, let me just send you this other one that I think that you need to hear. And she sent me that song, I think it was like a week later, and right before she sent the song, I literally sat down and I was at a crossroad. At that time we had 628 members in 11 different locations, and we were at this big crossroad as to what we were going to do. I had to either lay it all down and move forward with faith and say, you know what, God, I know that you'll provide, and I know that this is what you want me to do, or I had to go back to 628 people and I had to say, you know what, I really have to go back to work with my husband, or I have to go get another full-time job because our business is suffering, our family business is suffering, and I didn't want our family to suffer. And I literally prayed, God, please don't make me be the one that is the reason that we may lose our home and we may not be able to provide for our kids, and my husband's business may not be what it once was, and please don't, guide me and direct me. And the minute I finished that prayer, this email came through with a file of the song. And so I know you're giving away the new Wake Up CD, but for those of you that are online, the question is, Karen is giving away the new CD to someone that can answer this question. Karen, can you tell them what it is?
All right, ladies, you ready? Are we ready? What was the name of my song that prompted the Woamtec Charitable Foundation.
Okay.
The first person that can answer that. Ready, go.
Ready, go. And C, who is our phenomenal webmaster over there, our web diva, is going to be chatting with you and talking with you. And I know Gina McVeigh is also over there conversing with you as well. So thank you, wonderful women, and being part of this team. Tanya, I'm not going to leave you out. You're awesome, too. She's just not chatting with you.
Yeah.
She can't even hear you because she has headphones on. But anyway, so what is the name of the charitable, or the song that prompted the Charitable Foundation, that you still have many things left to see Karen and I do in regards to that, because we're still waiting for the 501c3. So keep praying for that to come through. It should be here any day.
Good.
And as soon as it is, amazing things can happen.
Yes.
So, Karen, thank you so much for being here today. See, do we have a winner yet, or are you going to hang on there for a little bit longer? No? Okay. Yes, we have a winner.
Yes, we do.
Okay. She'll let us know in just a second. I don't know what that, you have lots of winners probably. They're all conversing. Okay, look at Gina. Yeah. Okay, give us just a moment. We'll announce that winner in just a second. But Karen, thank you again so much for being here today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you took the journey down here and were able to be on our show today. And I look forward to watching great things happen for you.
Thank you.
Don't forget all of us little people when you're.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
My first stop is here every time I come home.
Yay! All right, give Karen a big round of applause. I appreciate her for being here today. We have a lot of other amazing things that I need to update and tell you, and we're going to find out the winner of Karen's CD in just a moment. But the first thing that I wanted to mention is, for those of you that have not heard, on October 18th, we have a dynamite conference coming to the Central Florida area. We're projecting 450 women in the room, 30 fabulous vendors. We have already sold out by 60%. For members, it's only $39 to attend. You get the trade show, lunch, 4 fabulous speakers, just a dynamite networking segment, all sorts of wonderful activities for $39 for member, $49 for non-members. You can have a vendor booth for only $250. Many of the categories have already sold out, so if you're interested, do not delay and register today. Those are you that are in the Central Florida area as well. I wanted to mention on September 29th, we are doing a social for charity to support the Sharing Center, is that the name of it? We're collecting canned food drives. It's free to attend. There's going to be food, networking, happy hour prices, a great organization right around the corner from our corporate studio. And we're doing that just as a way to connect with you, so corporate can connect with you, and so we can help our community and just help some of those that are in need as we go into the holiday season. So if you haven't gotten that information, it'll be coming to you soon. Please mark your calendar, September 29th, October 18th, and then lots more planned for the end of the year in 2012. Next, I want to introduce another dynamic woman. Now, she's not a Nashville singing sensation, but she is a pretty bright woman. This dynamo just followed her dreams all the way to Harvard. She has an amazing business degree. She has accomplished so many different goals, and I asked her to be here today because we wanted to talk about what it takes to overcome all of your obstacles. It takes faith first, a foundation second, having the foundation and the knowledge and the skills that you need to keep moving forward. But then I think you'll find the common thread is overcoming your fears to accomplish your dreams. So now I'd like to introduce the incredible Gina Carr. Welcome today. Thank you so much for being here. Can you tell everybody who you are and just a little bit about you and your company?
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Yes, I'm Gina Carr, and very happy to be here. I am a marketing specialist, marketing consultant. I help people build their businesses, and I do that through helping people with however it is that they need to improve their marketing, whether that's something in real life, traditional marketing, or more social media marketing, or anything digital. So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, so let's talk about your journey from high school to Harvard to here, okay, and kind of map out that whole process. So what made you decide to go to Harvard of all schools?
Well, it really was relationships. It had not been something that was a dream of mine for years. I had gone to Georgia Tech and studied industrial engineering, and then I was working in Atlanta, and I happened to be in close relationships, good friends, and then a boss who had gone to Harvard and had the same background, the Georgia Tech industrial engineering undergraduate degree, and then Harvard, and I just was exposed to some incredible people and saw what they were able to do with their lives, and knew that I really did love business. I had studied engineering, but I'm much more of a business person. Marketing is sort of my core. And I knew I wanted to be a successful business person, and if that door would open to me, and they encouraged me that it might, and it could if I'd go after it. And so I did, and I was just amazed to be accepted and amazed to go to the program. It was a wonderful experience.
Now, you surely had to be like this honor student, brainiac all through school, and did your parents like really push education? And like, how do you prep yourself to have the confidence to be able to accomplish something like that?
Well, my parents did put a high value on education. Neither of them had college degrees. My grandparents didn't graduate from high school, so it was, I don't come from a long line of education, nor did I have a silver spoon in my mouth. But I just naturally worked really hard. I always had a good work ethic, and I wasn't always the smartest one in class, but I was probably always one of the hardest working. And I didn't want to take a test unless I felt like I was going to ace it. So that was true in high school as well as at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is kind of interesting because there were several of my classmates from high school that did go into Georgia Tech, and I think I was one of the few that graduated. Now, I wasn't considered the smartest, but I knew that I was one of the hardest working, and so I took that work ethic with me to Georgia Tech and then to Harvard, and it certainly paid off and helped a lot.
So what did you learn from, what is your degree from Harvard? Is it in business?
Master's in Business Administration, MBA.
Okay. So what did you learn when I meet people all the time. I meet people that we consult with all the time, or members of our organization all the time, and they'll say, well, you know, I sell this, or I'm of this, but I don't have my degree in business, so maybe photography is more of a challenge, or maybe makeup artistry is more of a challenge, or whatever it may be, because they take a skill that they have, they refine it, they become good at it, and then they choose to make it a business, but they may be weak when it comes to business. They may be weaker when it comes to creating that infrastructure within their organization and separating the service that they offer from the business that they're running. So what could you have learned at Harvard that has helped you work with entrepreneurs?
Well, you're exactly right, and Michael Gerber wrote a fascinating book called The E-Myth. It's been out there for decades, and it's very much the whole theory that people are great at making a candle, and then when the candle maker tries to turn it into a business, then they end up being very frustrated, and just many times they fail, and it's sometimes not a good formula just because you're really good at the creation of a particular product. So business to me was quite a mystery, having the engineering degree, being really strong in math and sciences, and there was this unknown world of business. I just felt that it was this major puzzle that I'd never figure out all the pieces. So to go to an MBA program like Harvard and to learn that, you know, there really are finite pieces. There's marketing, there's human resources, there's accounting, there's finance, there's production, there are, you know, some different components that you really need to maybe know one of those really well, but you need to have a good handle on all of them, or otherwise bring people onto your team that are good in those areas. And so that's, but it's good to have that overall business knowledge to know what those areas are.
Right. Well, saying that you have a background in marketing, or a passion for marketing, but yet you have a background in engineering and education in business, combining those three core components together would make it logical for you to go into social marketing. So when did you take that leap into social marketing, and what are you doing for people now?
Well, I had started a chain of community magazines in Atlanta, Georgia, and had grown that into a little franchise of magazines in Ackworth, Cumming, Canton. I know a lot of your Woamtec members are Atlanta people, and so the magazines were up there, and that was traditional marketing, print marketing, and I had just along the way seen that digital was just taking over, and I had built these strong community magazines, and I recognized the power of social media to build communities around the world in different areas that people were interested in. So just recognizing the power of that to reach people everywhere just amazed me and intrigued me. Social media also is very much, I recognized early on that it's very much a place to be nice. It's a place to share joy and to share passions and to compliment people. And that's just my nature. And so I definitely understood that, wow, if you can do that and help other people do that, then it just turned out to be a really great fit for me.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I think that what you've proven here is with hard work and with effort and with motivation and determination, you can accomplish anything. You obviously got the knowledge and the training and the technical information that you needed to move forward and become successful, which I think is important, because if you are hitting roadblocks or hitting obstacles, it could very well be that you just haven't educated yourself enough to achieve the goals that you want, because you don't have all the skills, you don't have all the tools. And whether you're supplying those tools, or like you said, you're surrounding yourself with people that can bring those tools to life, you know, either one of those things will work, as long as you're not neglecting those tools or delegating and dismissing altogether and pretending like they don't exist. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was with your social marketing. I have watched people, because I have a master's in business as well, and I have watched people that they may be writers and all of a sudden now become search engine optimization experts because they feel as though they know how to write copy. That's a small piece of the puzzle, but there is a lot more that goes into becoming search engine optimization specialist. I have watched people say, get good on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, be familiar with marketing, understand the need to do social marketing, and now all of a sudden call themselves social marketing gurus. And I can see the ones that are marketing at you, and I can see the ones that are truly marketing and connecting. So what I wanted to do, and I said all that for a reason. The reason is you are one of the only people that I consistently read your blogs, that I consistently take time. It catches my eye, it brings me in, I take time to acknowledge it, and I don't feel like my time was wasted. I think that that's really important. So you know how to capture your audience, stimulate them to a call to action, and get a response, and that's what social marketing is all about. So with that being said, if you could give our viewers, if you could give our audience just a little bit of tips or information on what may work or what may not work, do's and don'ts of social marketing.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, and thank you. I'm honored to know that you really pay attention to my material, and I see a lot of likes from you, so I'm always happy about that. Social media, I think one of the big myths is that people say, well, you know, how do I make money on social media? How do I make money on social media? And what I would say is, you know, you need a copy machine sometimes for your business. You need a telephone. You need electricity. And you're not always going to say, oh, how did I make money from that right away? Social media is very much like farming. And you need to build a foundation. You need to till the soil. You need to plant the crops, water them, nurture them, be very consistent, and be very dedicated to building that. And one of the big mistakes that I see people making is that they don't know which social media platform to invest their time in, and sometimes they're using several different ones. And that's good, but in general, here's a couple of tips that I think will really help people. If your market is mainly consumers, mainly the end buyer, then Facebook is probably where you need to spend most of your time. If you're more into B2B, and your consumer, or the person you're marketing to, is a white-collar professional or service professional, someone that is then selling potentially to other consumers or to other businesses, then LinkedIn is really where you need to spend the time. And either one of those, where Woamtec and in real life, the IRL events come in, is you're going to mostly meet people in real life, and then you go back and connect with them on social media, and you really enhance that relationship. Your next guest that's coming up in just a few moments, I learned some things about her that we had in common, and so when we got here, I felt like I already knew her, and we were already able to chat about a number of things. So that's really, really big part. Now, Twitter is important for both, and Twitter is basically short conversations. Twitter's like a cocktail party. You're walking around, you're talking to people, you're not having a lot of meaningful conversations, but what you want to do is take those conversations offline when you've met somebody that's interesting and somebody that has similar goals and similar interests that you think, well, maybe we can do business together. I had a conversation this morning with someone from San Francisco. We met on LinkedIn. I recognize that his target audience, speakers and authors, is very similar to my main target audience. We had a great conversation. I'm sure we're going to do business together in the future. So those are some of the things that I would say.
Now, how do you connect with these people? Because I see a lot of times when people are connecting, actually I can think of two people in particular, that one person, when they post up and when they're connecting, it's more follow me on this, watch this, buy this, do this. It's more like a direct sell. And then I know somebody else that when they're connecting, it's more of a, hey, I'd like to get to know you better, or hey, I have a question to ask you in regards to this product. It's more of a way that I'm not just promoting it, I'm not just selling it, I'm truly connecting. So like with you and Shay, how did you make that connection so it wasn't just a you spamming her wall? How did you to make that connection to take it beyond spam into relationship marketing?
Well, knowing that we were both going to be on this same this show, I believe that I just posted a note on her Facebook wall, or might have sent her a direct message saying, "Hey, we're going to be there. I was a competitive water skier. I noticed you were a competitive water skier. That's really cool, and so we have that in common. And looking forward to meeting you." So I believe that's how that happened, actually.
Okay. I think that's really good, and that's what I love about social marketing, because it helps you identify with each other on a social level. I didn't know either one of you were competitive water skiers, so yay go you! That's super cool. Karen, what about you? No, just kidding. It's so exciting to say that if you take a look at what you're doing, who you're connecting with, you find your passion, you find your power. I do have to ask, what is in this whole pursuit of happiness that you've gone through, what has been the biggest obstacle or challenge, the biggest decision you've had to make in your career, in your life, to keep you moving forward?
Well, every step of the way, it's what is my heart really telling me that I should do next, and what's going to make my heart sing, and how can I put those people in my life that bring me joy and happiness? How can I be doing activities that I'm good at that bring me joy and happiness? And how can I accomplish that? And many times it's through the right who's. One of my mentors, John Strzelecki, wonderful author, he talks about it's not the what's in your life, it's the who's. So no matter what the obstacle, no matter what the dream, if you tell enough people, if you share your dreams with them, you're going to be able to find people who can help you accomplish those. And so I think that's been the biggest key, is having the faith that I'm meant to be here for happiness. I'm meant to be here to share happiness and to bring joy into other people's lives as well, and that's part of my just core being. And how can I do that? And so reaching out to people until I find the right ones that can help me do that, whether that's customers, mentors. It's been just an incredible blessing in my life to have met you years ago, and
I don't even remember how we met. Do you remember how we met?
I saw you online.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think through Monica Wofford, actually.
Okay,
She was speaking at one of your events, and I said, "Oh, who does this event? That looks so cool." And so then I said, "Well, I've got to know you."
And I think that's really what it's about, is really taking the time to be real with what you want, your wants, your desires, your needs, and your passions. Have the confidence that you're supposed to accomplish. Like if that passion wasn't placed on your heart, if you weren't supposed to achieve that goal, and not giving up and continuing to connect. It's true that we are meant to connect with one another, and that doesn't mean you take access to the thousands upon thousands of people that are in our Woamtec directory and begin to spam the entire directory. But it wouldn't hurt you to take each chapter at a time and pick up the phone and say, "Gina, I'd like to get to know you a little bit better. Tell me about you." Because as I begin to connect with people, it's no different than when I introduced you to Linda Sasha, and I said, "I don't know why, I just think the two of you need to connect." And when you start making those connections, you may just be amazed at what happens. It's no different than Betty introducing me to Karen, and Karen it's just this big chain of reaction. And if you connect with powerful, passionate, like-minded, positive professional women that all believe in achieving your goals and achieving the purpose that you've been destined to achieve, the only thing that can happen is greatness. So thank you so much for being here today. It's an honor to know you, and I look forward to continuing to work with you and get to know you a little bit better. Now, you are giving away a prize too, but before I tell that prize, I now know why C. Rivas was shaking her head when we asked who was going to win the Karen Williams prize, and it was because Jenny Bishop, who is just won our Gene Challenge and who won last month too. Jenny, you are just one lucky diva. I think that is awesome. Jenny, you won the challenge that Karen asked, because the question, the song that she wrote that inspired me to keep moving forward, that I listened to moments after my prayer, that I believe was meant for me to hear at that particular moment, was called Courage to Dream. It's from her first album. It's an amazing song, and again, she's an amazing woman. So yay, go Jenny. I am very proud of you. You are the winner of that challenge. You get her new CD called Wake Up. I shouldn't have forgotten it. You're going to hear from her. She's going to sing a song live today called Only You, which is an amazing song that I can't wait for you to hear. So stay tuned. We've got so much more to come. But before we do that, I know you have a prize, and tell us, Gina, what you're going to be giving away today.
Well, I'll tell you, but I do want to say Jenny Bishop is another great example. I've met her in person for 5 minutes one time, but we are good friends because we talk on Facebook all the time, we talk on Twitter, and so we've become really quite close. So that's how we got to know each other. So what I'm giving away is a marketing audit, where I will spend an hour on the phone. It's a recorded conversation. I'll review your marketing materials, marketing efforts, what you're doing, and we'll talk about the 5 key areas of social, search, e-commerce, in real life, what you're doing, and traditional marketing, because I've done it all. I've started a lot of businesses, and I've helped a lot of people with that. And so we're going to do that, and that is a $500 value. So I would love to do that, help someone with that. And my question for that is, if Facebook were a country, what size would it be? If Facebook were a country, it would be the blank largest country in the world.
Wow. Do you know, did you see Jeff? Jeff is our director here today, so please give Jeff a big round of applause. We're waiting for that answer. What, was that like a it's about time? Oh, geez. You know I love you. I know you do. I'm giving you recognition now, but you just said something. Here's double recognition if you can remember what you said. You said to me earlier that Facebook just announced how many billions of dollars in revenue sales?
1.6 in the first half of the year.
$1.6 billion in ad sales in the first 6 months of 2011. Boy, is that a brilliant team. Like, that is just amazing to think about. So for those of you that are using the economy as a reason for not being successful, apparently Facebook has solved that problem, because they're definitely thriving in this economy with advertising dollars. And I bet you have a few 2 cents to say about that because of Facebook, or because of your print media advertising. You know the advertising market, which is important.
Well, and as well, I'd like to say one of my classmates from Harvard Business School, a few years apart, she was class of 95, I was class of 90, is Sheryl Kara Sandberg, who is the COO of Facebook, and is credited with bringing them into profitability. And she's sort of the mother figure over there, I guess, but in terms of really having a business focus, because a few years ago they weren't making any money.
Right.
And so she's brought that model in and made that good.
That is awesome. Well, it's all about who you know, right? So you know, yeah, we need to talk.
Exactly.
No, just kidding. Okay. I'm hearing those connections. Okay, anyways, back to business here. The winner is, or the answer is, see, do you have some answers yet? We've got some guesses. So if Facebook were a country, it would be the blank largest country in the world, and the answer is the 3rd largest country. And you'll stay tuned for just a second. We're going to find out who that winner is, and they're going to win the $500 consultation, which is an incredible gift with incredible value. So thank you, Gina Carr, for being here today. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. I wish you only the best. Much success.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
My pleasure. Again, we've got so many incredible, exciting things to share with you. I am just going crazy with the amount of growth, the amount of people coming together. I know some of you have heard that the incredible Jenny Bishop and Gina McVeigh and the Dr. Phillips chapter and let's see, Lawrenceville, Tanya Cash in Lawrenceville and Vieira Beach, we collected over 1,400 pairs of jeans for the Hope Foundation, Blue Jeans for True Jeans campaign, and I can tell you they were ecstatic. Over 1,400 jeans. I can tell you that our winners for that contest, after Allison Krieger were here, it was essentially a tie, because Jenny Bishop's chapter in Chateau-Alon, Georgia, they collected 603, I think. She'll correct me online right now if I got that wrong, but it was over 600. And then Gina McVeigh's chapter collected 578, I believe, and then number 3 chapter collected 129. So it was just such a big jump. I gave first and second place, both first place awards, because they truly made a difference. And I can tell you, when we took the first 300 jeans down to the Foundation for Foster Care at the Foster Parent Association event prior to school starting, the people were ecstatic, so ecstatic that I've made a decision. Every year during the summer, before we go back to school, I'm going to challenge you to challenge your churches, your women's groups, your sports affiliations, everybody to put together a jean drive, because every year for back to school, Woamtec Foundation is going to support Hope Foundation's empowerment with giving women and children who have been abused, neglected, or abandoned through no fault of their own the comfort to be comfortable in their own jeans and make a difference. So clean out your closet every summer. The jeans that no longer fit because you've gotten too skinny, please donate to charity and to a very good cause, because we need them and they appreciate you. So thank you, ladies, for your support with that campaign. Now I want to introduce you to another lady that has another campaign of her own that is just putting her pedal to the metal. I am just blown away with this superstar. She is a race car diva to a new degree, and you're going to hear some fabulous things about her. And the reason why I asked her to be on the show today is when I first started getting insight, her mother is a Woamtec member of the Claremont chapter, and I kept hearing, you need to do a profile on Woamtec daughters. You need to do a profile on Woamtec daughters for the magazine and for the shows. And I kept saying, well, how old is she? And she was like 15, and then she was like 16 or something like that. And they said she's a race car driver. And I thought, what 16-year-old could be a race car driver? Well, now this race car driver's winning first place. So pay attention, ladies. We've got a new woman at the wheel. So please welcome Shay Holbrook with Shay's Racing. So please give her a big round of applause.
Well, thank you for that very nice introduction. I've been working so hard at what I've been doing, and I'm happy to finally be on the show with you. And yes, my mom is a Woamtec member, Erin Holbrook with ISG, and she has been hounding you forever, and it's working, right?
Yay, it's working. Hey, one day, mark my words, one day we're going to have a Woamtec logo on the front of your automobile. Like, that's going to be there. I just can't wait. That will happen, I promise. Tell me a little bit about, talk to us about, I should have your mom up here too, because I want to know what mommy's thinking about her little girl going 100. How fast do you go?
The fastest I've ever been is 160, but typically it's around like 135.
Okay, so this is taking, when you get your 16-year-old driver's license permit, to a whole new level. Okay, I'm getting nervous. Okay, so talk to me about what inspired this dream.
Well, you know, Kathleen, I have a really different story than like the typical race car drivers, because typically the traditional story is grandfather and dad pass the wheel down to son. In my case, it's daughter. But I literally started 5 years ago. I did not come from a motorsports background. We literally watched every once in a while, in a blue moon, a snippet of a NASCAR race. We kind of fell into it, but before the racing started, I was a nationally ranked competitive water skier, and it was a family sport. I'm only a child, thank God. Now that I always wanted like a brother or a sister, but now I understand why God gave me, it was just me.
No,
just
She's
me.
probably saying the same thing. I couldn't imagine having a whole team of race car drivers.
I know. Well, so I always grew up, very passionate about things that I was doing, very, very family oriented, and, very successful in water skiing, and the racing kind of just happened. It happened on accident. A really good friend of ours is a huge gearhead, and he got my dad into it. And
okay, wait. A huge gearhead? That's not like a bling ring.
No.
So, okay, what's a gearhead?
Very into motorsports, and while he was building a GT1 Camaro, my father was actually building an experimental seaplane.
Got it.
And they would swap time helping. They were Navy buddies, so they've known each other for years. And so anyways, he got into it, and when he was getting his SECA, which is just club license for racing, he brought me along knowing that I would get bit by the bug, and he bought me the Richard Petty experience at Daytona. And I was 15 at the time, so I was too young to drive, so I was a passenger. And I mean, we took like one around, and I'm like, go faster, and he's like, no, and I'm like, no, don't stop. I'm like, no, just go fast. He goes, I cannot go faster with you, like, liability problem. and I fell in love with it, and honestly, Kathleen, it started as a hobby, but the hobby turned into a passion, and now it's a career, and I'm living my dream.
So, okay, take me through. You got your license. I asked her when she started driving. She said 16, and then I could tell by the look on her face that's her legal answer, liability reasons. So she started racing when you were 16 years old. How many years have you been competitively competing?
Just about 5 now.
Okay, so 5 years, and you just had something major happen. So it's not about to happen, it's happening. And talk about your wins, talk about where you've competed.
Yeah, speaking in the present, some really great things have happened to us this year. I've been competitively racing for 5 years, and this is my 2nd year of professional racing. I race in a series called the Pirelli World Challenge. It's a high-base touring car series that have hundreds of thousands of fans. We race alongside the IZOD IndyCar series, and at times the American Le Mans. Our next race is September 30th at Road Atlanta, so I'm extremely excited to get off to that race.
Back that up. The next race is September what?
30th.
September 30th where?
Road Atlanta.
Okay, and I'm going to guess that's in Atlanta?
In Atlanta.
Just so
I
into
think
the
it's in
sport.
Brazelton. I
Don't
can't
feel bad.
remember off the top of my
When Karen told me my dad's Pat Williams, and she said he's in sports, Steve was like, is that like the Pat Williams?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just not a sports Steve. So, okay. So this is in Atlanta. Now, we have lots of people in Atlanta watching right now because that's our largest chapters. Some of our largest chapters are in Atlanta. So if any of those women wanted to support you, what would they do, or what could they do? Or could they show up with like Woamtec bling holding signs that say go Shay?
Oh,
or,
anything.
Okay.
I love that. In my opinion, I would love that. Yeah, we're definitely looking for sponsorship, really partnership for the next race. We have so many great opportunities that could be a win-win for all. So if anybody's interested, give me a shout, shayracing.com, or just hit me up via social media, just Shay Racing. And I'm all about empowering women. Obviously I'm racing in a very male-dominant sport, and I get the question a lot. How do you feel being a female in the motorsports industry? And sometimes I really don't even know how to answer it, because I don't look at myself as the girl race car driver or the female race car driver. I just look at myself as another driver. I guess maybe I wouldn't say that I have any more opportunity than a male my age. I think it's all about the way you market yourself, the way you carry yourself, and your business relationships, because like you were just saying before, it's not necessarily what you know, sometimes it's who you know. And that's something that's really been beneficial in my career.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because you said something pre-show that kind of intrigued me and just really made me realize the obstacles. Like, you're not only battling the obstacles of being young, but also being a female. And when I talk about that, it's not that you're not capable, but that's a scary thing. Like, I'm sure you thought about it once or twice, Mom, before you said, sure, go for it. I would probably say, are you sure you don't want to sew? Or no, just kidding. Because that's a scary sport, and there is a liability that's involved. So with that being said, what you said to me that like a lot of the people that are in this industry are born into the industry. They follow their grandfather, their father's footsteps, and because of that, they probably have a lot of marketing underway. They probably have money underway. They probably have a campaign underway. And you said this is just really you and your mom and your dad just saying, hey, they're going to support your dreams. You're going to go after your dreams. We're not going to let anything stop us. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's really correct, because you hit the nail on the head. I didn't come from a motorsports background, so it was kind of difficult for me to trying to get into the industry, trying to put my foot in the door. I mean, I was 16 years old, with Mom and Dad, and then I would go out to these huge venues and walk by myself, because nobody wants to be approached by, hi, this is my daughter Shay, she's a great race car driver, you really need to go out and break out and do it by yourself. So a lot of this, my parents were and that's one thing that I'm really blessed with, is my parents are 110% behind me. And I have even some friends where their families, oh, go ahead, you can do it, yeah, but they really gave me that push. If you want it, you have to get it for yourself. And yes, like my mom and dad helped me a lot in the beginning, but now it's kind of to a point where I'm doing a lot of my own work. I'm doing a lot of my own promotional and marketing work. And a lot of fans think that I have management and a team behind me. Not yet. I will. I want one. But at this point, I'm doing it all on my own, and I take a lot of pride in my work and the work that my family, has behind me. And to be honest, I look back at, I'm 21 years old, so it's not, I'm still young, I know, but I'm getting old in the industry, I feel like. And I look back at like things that I've accomplished in my life, and I've never felt so much gratification in what I'm doing now, because not only am I pursuing my dream as being one of the world's best professional race car drivers, but I'm giving back to the community through Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, which directly benefits a disease called Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's very close to my heart. It affects my family. I had a cousin that passed away from it. Rest in peace, Matthew. I love him. We were the same age, and he passed away in 2008, right after he graduated from high school. And his youngest brother, Jordan, has Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and he's a little spitfire, though. He's so great, and he's really, since Matthew is passing, has really kind of, it's like I'm finding all of my roads are coming together. Mm-hmm. And I really feel like what I'm doing is not only to benefit myself and my family, but the people around me and the people in the Duchenne community. So we go to each venue and we raise funds and awareness for Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy, leading the fight to end Duchenne.
So when someone sponsors you or someone promotes you or helps you or can assist you, how does that help your fund your nonprofit, your charity, your passion?
Well, one thing that's really great is we bring, at each venue, we invite a Duchenne muscular dystrophy family to come to the race venue, to give them the VIP experience. And, you know, sometimes a lot of these boys, especially if they're wheelchair bound, they're not able to go and do a lot of things that we take, sometimes we take for granted. They have to plan things out. But we give them direct exposure. I feel like most of the boys really love it. I mean, what boy doesn't like race cars? You know, so it's a perfect match. And it's awesome because, you know, sometimes depending on the venue, we only raise, you know, $100, maybe $500. And that all directly goes to benefit for the cure. And, you know, actually a shout out to all of my fans that are watching. Thank you so much for supporting Jordan's cause. During the hurricanes, he lives in upstate New York. You wouldn't think a hurricane would hit upstate New York, but it did. And a tree fell on his van, and they have to get a new van. So I just shot out a few quick tweets and posts on Facebook, and we were able to raise a little over, actually I think just short of $600. So thank you so much to everybody. You don't understand what that means to Jordan and his family, so I appreciate it.
Yay, that's awesome. That gave me goosebumps again.
I know, me
So
too.
Awesome. You know, it really is about working together to not only achieve your goals, but to make a difference in the lives of others, and I think that you're doing that. Now, you kind of glazed over when I said, talk to me about your current success and where you're at. Tell them, where do you rank right now? Like, where do you rank?
Well, this season has been a little bittersweet, but let's talk about the sweets. The sweet is, back in April, I turned 21. It was, you know, the week of my 21st birthday, and we went to the Grand Prix of Long Beach, which is the most prestigious street race in America, as of what they say, and it definitely is. There was 125,000 eyeballs, a lot of people, IZOD IndyCar Series, other series, along with the Pirelli World Challenge series I race in. But we were just really fortunate to be there because you kind of have to get into the race first. And they chose us to go into the race, and you know, we were just happy to be there. We're like, let's finish the race, let's put on a good show, let's please our partners, let's please our fans, let's end on a good note. And to be honest, I was having a really difficult weekend because I was actually renting another professional race car.
Wow.
I was learning a new car. I did have two practices and a qualifying in a race, but it's not like, you know, you know,
like your baby.
Yeah, it's not my baby. And I was really struggling. I wasn't putting down great lap times. You know, even emotionally and mentally, I was kind of off. And I'll say this, and this is exactly the way it played out. When I went to go into the car, I had some fans on the side of the fence, and they were all screaming. And that's just, it's such a great feeling, and that's why I like to give back to my fans so much, because it's empowering me. I like to know that people are supporting not only my charity efforts, but my racing efforts too. And so I got into the car, and I just said a quick prayer, and I was like, God, I just want a break. I had a rough time getting here, kind of having a rough time now. Like, if I'm going to win a race, it would be great if it would be this one. And long story short, I had the best race of my life, and we ended up winning. And the whole team did a fantastic job. And I wish I could have seen them, because if they saw me, I mean, they heard me. They heard me over the radio, just absolutely screaming. But I also made history as a female, first ever to win in the touring car division of the 22-year-old Pirelli World Challenge Series. So, and that's what, you know, not only is my first professional win underneath my belt, like,
awesome.
Feels really good, but as a female in the industry, I really want to make my footprints in the industry as a lady. And now I have a little baby footprint, so I want to keep growing. So.
That's awesome. Well, you know what? If I could sing, Karen, I would sing Jesus Take the Wheel, because I think that's what happened at that particular moment. Go Carrie Underwood. You know, I think that just what you're accomplishing is just amazing, and I wish you luck. I wish you health and well-being and safety in everything that you do, and you are breaking barriers, and I think that that's what it is. It's what you just described is better than any question I can ask you, because that story, that example of just saying, you know what, just help me out here and lead me down the path that you want me to go, and help me follow the journey that I'm destined to follow and become the person that you made me. I think that that's what this is all about. So you're doing that, and your fans, he will continue to put the fans and the people in your lives that you need in your lives when you need it, because they were there for a reason, and they were there.
You know
to
what? I
empower
want
you.
to say one quick thing too. When
Sure.
you say, he'll put the people that need to be there for you. My first professional race of this season was the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, and we had one of the best race cars. I had, one of the best race teams. I mean, I was out there ready to go win the race. 7 laps in, lucky number 7, I got caught up into a really big wreck. Took me out of the race, and it was a double header weekend, so I had another race on Sunday. The car's totaled. I don't have a car now. I have to be there for points. I have to be there for sponsors. I have to be there for self-motivation. I have to be there for my team. So we were able to get into another car. The only reason why I was able to get into another car, which was a rented seat, and if you've noticed, motorsports isn't really that inexpensive.
Right.
But I met a fan a year ago from that day, and he has 4 daughters, and Rhea, his youngest, is one of our greatest fans, but I hadn't connected with her via social media or anything prior to that day again. So I had this crazy idea of, maybe I should just talk to my fans. I'm crying for help on social media. I'm calling everybody. I'm saying, please help me, please help me. And Mr. Gilbert came over and he was like, what's it take to get you in the seat? And I'm like, you don't want to know. I'm not going to let you know what the price was. But it was expensive. And he said, well, I'll help you this much. And I'm like, thank you so much. Now let me go find the other. I only have like 2 hours to go find it. And he came back to me and he said, you know what? I want you to race. You have to race, but under one condition. And I'm like, I'll do anything at this point. He goes, I want you to put my girls on the side of your car. And it just so happens that one of my partners does all of my decal work, and the reason why I look so good is because of him. So thank you so much. And he was coming, and he was able to put Gilbert girls on the side of the car. And it was, I've never felt, I had to walk away because I was bursting in tears, because for a fan, somebody that barely knows me, met me once a year prior, to come and help me and embrace me like that, and the team, and his girls, and they're sisters of mine now. They're sisters. It's awesome.
I think that's awesome, and it is all about looking at who you know. And I think that if you listen to the common thread that we've heard today, it's really about overcoming your obstacles, having faith, using social media to connect with the people that you're destined to connect with, and never giving up to reach and pursue your goals and to become what you're destined to become. So Shay, thank you so much for being here and sharing today. I wish you much luck and much happiness, and I know that you're giving away a prize too. This is easy. You've got 2 prizes. You're giving 2 Shay Holbrook t-shirts, which is really exciting. And the first prize, and you can answer to your Web Divas online, is what was Shay's first professional win that she just spoke about. So that is a pretty easy one. And what college did you go to? I'm not sure if you said that.
I'm still a student at this college.
Okay, so
and that's all I can give you.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to say you're online right now watching this, so if she didn't say it and you didn't catch it, then Google it. Go to ShayHolbrook.com. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you continue to blossom and build those footsteps into big ones.
Well, thanks for having me. Thank you so much for everybody that has been participating in this live webcast. I just can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And we will have our logo on your car one day. I
Woo!
promise you. It will happen. Well, before we conclude and get ready to end the day, it was a powerful segment. I hope you saw how all of these dynamic women intertwined together to really show you how you can reach your goals and reach your dreams and what you're destined to be. And before we close, I want to bring it back to a stellar, incredible, fabulous woman. Again, it's Karen Williams with a song from her CD. It's called Wake Up. One more time, and the song that she's going to share today is Only You. Take it away, Karen. Okay, no, that's not Karen. That kind of sounds like Karen. Okay, let's try it again. Woohoo! Okay. Again, this is Wake Up from the Wake Up CD, available now to Woamtec women, called Only You.
Standing at a crossroad in the dead of night, waiting for the dark to fade into the light, until there's only you, till there's only you. No one here but me and you and all my tears. Will you make me like the air and let me disappear? shepherd to a lost lamb. You find me here. There is only you. There is only you. Only you mend all that I have broken. Only you hear what I leave unspoken. Only you know how I want to let go. For only you. All this time I've lived with everything to prove. Now I can't remember who I had to prove it to. Lord, it's only you. It's only you. Only you mend all that I have broken. Only you hear what I leave unspoken. Only you know that I'm letting go. For only you. Only you.
Yay! Awesome. Awesome. Oh my goodness, what an incredible show. I'm so excited. Just sharing to conclude with you today. Thank you ladies for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, for being here today. We had a great show. It was a pleasure to be with you. I want you to know that if you listen to the words that Karen shared today, it's only you. Many of you know that our foundation is built on allowing women to keep their priorities of faith first, family second, and career third in order. And it's because of you and only you, our Savior, that we're able to do that, because when you focus on Him, nothing else matters and all things are possible. So thank you again for being here today. I look forward to continuing to work with you. Thank you, ladies. You were terrific. I applaud all of you, and I will see you again next month.
Sometimes this life is like a big surprise. I get so lost.